Hey everyone, it's Kariana, the one, the only, your favorite witchy coach. So before I get started with the video topics and the discussion on that, I wanted to remind you guys that all of my information about one-on-one coaching will be down in the description box below, along with anything that we're giving away. We're always doing fun stuff, so you guys check that out. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. All right. So there's a video. There was a couple of video suggestions that were brought to my attention from my reception that you guys had sent in, and I really, really appreciate you guys for doing that. And last week, so we had a subscriber bring to our attention that they wanted me, sorry, to talk about from no contact to moving into marriage, affirmations, wavering. That's a lot of subjects to bring to one video. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, I know you guys always say that you guys want me to bring longer videos. And I appreciate that. But sometimes I don't even want to hear myself. I don't even want to hear myself talk for 45 minutes to an hour. So I know there's going to be people out there that are like, no. Okay. So I get that. But so I had to split it up in two. All right. And so last week I talked about from no contact to moving in. I had a success story that was a great addition to that, right? Because I have a lot of success stories lined up. And just because, so my clients that are my success stories, just so you guys know, just because I haven't brought your success story to the channel yet doesn't mean I'm not going to. It does not mean that I'm not proud of you. You guys know I reach out to you guys personally and tell you guys all the time how proud of you I am. Sorry, can I talk today about your successes? Okay. So I'm just the type of coach that likes to kind of bring in the success stories as the topics match, right? Not always, but most times, right? And so I did that last week. And so now this week, I want to talk about the marriage part of this, right? And I'll talk about affirmations, and then I'll sprinkle in again wavering. Okay. Also too, and I'm not gonna, I don't like script my videos, so I kind of just go free. I'm gonna just, as I feel the need to, I will talk about different things. But also too, I had another subscriber bring to our attention that they wanted me to talk about what to do if affirmations, like affirming your affirmations, brings you anxiety, or robotically affirming brings you anxiety. And I'll talk a little bit about that as much as I can, right? So you don't have to wait for another week or two to hear about that topic, right? So you can just kind of get the gist of it and start applying it to your manifestation journey, okay? Because, sorry guys, because you guys know that we always say that, we're giving you everything on the channel that you need to manifest, right? You don't have to get coaching. That's a choice. Okay. So guys, so manifesting marriage, right? So my client that I was working with, okay, I'm just going to refer to this client. And when I was manifesting my SP, okay, I'll sprinkle some of that in too. But when I was working with this client, and I still am, I mean, she's still my client, but she's my success story three times over again because of the things that she's manifested throughout her journey. But yeah, she pretty much went from no contact, and then they started getting contact, spending quality time, going out on dates, those kind of things. And then now proposal. So I don't know where it's going to go from here. I'm super excited for her. I'll go ahead and read the success story to you. But I just want you guys to realize, right, that when you're manifesting anything, okay, we're going to talk about SP today, but when you're manifesting anything, right, it is you're living in the old story, right? And you want to get to B, okay? And I always talk about that in between, okay? And I know that, it's going to be uncomfortable for you guys. Like, this is going to be the in between is uncomfortable. Okay. And you have to really pay attention to what you do in the in between. All right. And the reason why I say that is because a lot of times, okay, when you're in between, I'm going to bring up the wavering, I'm going to bring up the doubting, I'm going to bring up all that, right? A lot of times in the in between, we can go through that. And my clients will come to me and say, Kariana, I don't know for sure if I even want this. I don't know for sure if I even think that this works. I don't know for sure if I trust this process. I don't know for sure if I'm powerful. I don't know for sure if I'm ever going to get this, right? All these questions that they're doubting, wavering, all those things, right? So I get that that's a natural process, right? And when you bring that to me, I'm going to tell you right off the bat, okay? This is natural, guys. I always say I promote having emotions. I promote having feelings. I promote having anything that comes up, boom, to the surface, right? And I know it's going to. And I warn you guys about that. I say, you guys are probably going to have some emotions coming up. You guys are probably going to have some doubts coming up. It's natural. It's fine, right? Don't fight it. Don't fear it. Fighting means stuffing it down, acting like it doesn't exist, sweeping it under the rug, right? Don't do any of that. Don't. Not at all. Okay? Because the more you do that, the more it comes up. Okay? Because sweeping the shit under the rug, right, just piles up, right? When you tackle it, when you battle it, tackle it, when you face it, then you've gotten rid of it, right? It may come up again. I'm not trying to say that it's not going to come up again, but it comes up less and less and less. It's fewer and fewer visits that you have from those doubts, from the lingering, the haunting thoughts, right? So I never promote stuffing down your feelings. I never promote fearing anything, right? Just acknowledging it, just observing it, just seeing what's going on, and then just saying, okay, this sucks. Yeah, it sucks. I'm uncomfortable. I'm having these doubts. I'm having this anxiety. I'm having these fears, whatever's coming up, guys. Okay. But I know that the more that I tackle this, okay, by flipping my thoughts, by staying calm, by staying in present, by staying grateful, by staying neutral, by stepping into those are all things to step into your power. I know that this will come up less and less for me. I know that. I have faith in that. I know that because I know this process. And the more that you do that, the more control and power that you gain in your reality. Okay. As a creator, the more that you do the unfavorable that I just talked about, give into those things, you fear them, you try to stuff them down and act like they don't exist, run away from them and all those things, right? Sometimes people have the illusion that they're gaining the control and they're gaining the power by doing that, but you're actually giving away your power and you're giving away your control. Okay. And trust me on this, guys. Trust me, please. Because I've gone through it myself when I was manifesting my SP. Okay. And that's why I had to really step into, I really had to step into my power and I really had to say, no, I'm not doing this. I'm not getting drug into the dark side, as I like to call it. I'm not going to allow my subconscious to throw a fit for hours, days, weeks on end. I'm not going down the rabbit hole as much as I'm tempted. You know, I like to say the rabbit hole because it's like Alice in Wonderland, right? She was tempted to go down there, right? I'm not tempted. I'm not going to do that. I'm choosing and I'm deciding I'm getting what I want. I choose the reality. Okay. I'm clear on what I want to experience. And now I decide that this is going to happen for me. And I know that this is how I need to execute this. Okay. And that's where, you know, I come in. That's where I instruct you guys, right? This is how we need to execute this to give you guys what you want. okay, to give you guys what you desire, okay? And so I just want you guys to realize that when you're in that in between and it's uncomfortable, really getting really, diligent, really disciplined with your mind. And because knowing that you're in between and you're uncomfortable right now, right? It's not forever. It's not forever, right? But it's an important point that I have to bring up, that being diligent, being disciplined is very important, because if you guys choose to go back to any thought and choose to entertain that, I'm not talking about for a second, guys. I'm not talking about for a couple times a day. I'm talking about most of the day. I'm talking about going full force into it. You're on the victim train, like I always say, or you're letting the ego mind drag you back into, like I said, the dark side, right? The old story. We got to really pay attention to that, okay? Because when you're in the in-between, it could go either way, right? Because your new story hasn't hardened into fact yet, okay? So it's not predominant, okay? It's not predominant. The old story is kind of, it's in the background, but it's kind of the comfy place, right? It's a place that you kind of know what to expect. And so no matter how toxic that is, your subconscious likes to go back there because it's familiar, okay? And so when you're in that in between, it's a crucial point of whenever you think those old unfavorable thoughts, whenever you feel those doubts, whenever you waver, it's important to get really, really strict with your mental diet, to get really disciplined, to have the diligence, okay, to stay laser focused and to keep your eye on the prize, as I like to call it. Because any, unfavorable thought that you entertain for any length of time will drag you back into the old story. And we all know that whatever we highlight, right, that's coming up in our 3D, right? Because this should just be a lesson. Like I like to say, it should just be a lesson, because it's just a product of what's been going on in here before. Remember, there's a delay in the 3D. We're always ahead of it. So if it's pushing out now, you're like, oh, that's what I was thinking about before. Okay, I get it. I understand, right? And that's it. We should just take it as a lesson. But if we're taking that and we're running with it, we're going, oh my God, this is so real and it's so permanent and I can't change this, and I'm not going to be able to experience anything different. Well, then that's what we're going to continue to push out, right? Whatever we're highlighting is going to be pushed out. It's going to continue to be pushed out, or it's going to be pushed out next. Okay. So if it's unfavorable, guys, you've got to be flipping those thoughts. And that's the only way around this with any topic. But we're talking about, today about relationships and marriage and getting to the next level. You have to really start thinking of yourself as this person is completely consumed with me and blinded by me. They only see me, right? You have to be thinking of yourself as everybody pales in comparison to me. I shine in my SP's thoughts, in my SP's reality. I shine, right? My SP only sees me. Why? Because he sees me or they see me. Sorry, I'm talking to the subscriber, right? That that brought this to our attention. I'm sorry, but right? They see me as their perfect counterpart, their perfect partner. And the other thing that's really important is that you have to be remembering that, and like I said, in my last video, or my last couple videos now, guys, sorry, it gets jumbled, but in my last, couple videos or whatever, I talked about how, when we're talking about, manifesting your SP or whatever, right? How this person views you and how this person sees you, right? The real story that you're telling yourself about your SP, okay? And when we're trying to get a marriage proposal, okay, we need to really be thinking about this person sees me as their perfect partner. Okay. And that this person feels, if you're dealing with, now I don't know your story and I don't want to go too far into it because I've already gone into it in the other video, but if you're having any problems with this person coming in and sharing their emotions with you or being open with you, or if you have any doubts on this person being authentic and transparent with you, or this person is emotionally unavailable, or this person is has problem with commitment or anything like that, I want you guys to be telling yourself that this person feels safe, secure, and supported by you. Okay, that is very important. And that this is an equal give and take, right? That the love that you give, that you put out, you get back, right? It's a give and take with you guys. And that you also feel safe, secure, and supported in this relationship. Okay. That's very, very important. Very, very important, guys. Okay. Because when you're in a marriage with this person, when you are walking down the aisle, you say I do, and now you're in a commitment, you have to realize that this should absolutely be a good give and take. This should absolutely be a situation where you both feel safe, secure, and supported, that you both feel safe and secure to be yourselves, to be authentic and transparent in this relationship at all times, that you guys are both open and ready to communicate with each other. You're not in your ego mind. You're not in a victim mindset, that you guys are both mature and showing up at the table to communicate, right? So seeing your SP in that version, okay, and embodying, becoming the version of the person who is wearing the ring, right? Feeling the ring on your finger, twisting the ring, feeling that ring and being, this is a commitment, staying in that and being strict in that and saying, this is a commitment and I'm happy and I'm excited about this. And seeing your SP being decisive and certain that you're the one for them and that they're excited about your future, right? That they're certain and they're excited and they're ready to go. They're ready to just be everything that you want them to be, right? Seeing that person in that best version. If you're dating somebody right now and you want them to propose to you, I want you to see them level up. I want you to see them in the version of leveling up for you. Okay. The version of the person that isn't, they're not competing for your pedestal. They're not at all. You're the only one that belongs on the pedestal. They're not competing for free will. You're the only one that has free will, right? That they just respect your views. They respect your needs. They respect your wants. They listen to you and they provide that for you because you're worth it, because you're enough, because they see you as their number one priority. They put you above anyone and everything, right? And so what they're doing is that they're not competing for your pedestal, that you're on the pedestal and they're leveling up to meet you beside your pedestal. That's the version of your SP that you need to be seeing when you are desiring marriage, when you're desiring a pedestal, when you're desiring a proposal, okay? And just, simply, right, living in, whether you do this through inner conversation that I've talked about, because you have to clear any resistance, blocks, resentment that you might have, anything that you need to bring to the table. If you feel like you need apologies, if you feel like this person needs to clear, like I said, commitment issues, emotional issues, so they can be emotionally available. If you want to do that with inner conversation, which I think that that's the most powerful way to do it, because I personally think it's free therapy for you guys, right? You're energetically connected to this person. Thought transmission is always happening. So you going in with an inner conversation, I've talked about it several times, for 5 days, 3 to 5 days, right? And really impressing that conversation, telling your subconscious that you've had that conversation with that person can really push it out very quickly and make it tangible here in your 3D, right? So whether you're doing that through inner conversation, whether you're doing that through a strict mental diet, and that's it, just a mental diet. If you're doing that with, robotically affirming, scripting, a combination of these things, right? There's no right or wrong, guys, right? It's just what you guys feel is effective for you. Because guess what? If you keep feeding yourself that robotic affirming works and it works for you, then it works. If you keep affirming that a mental diet just works for you and everything else you can set down, guess what? It's going to work. Okay. These are your assumptions here that are pushing out. Okay. Always. Okay. In anything, any subject, don't forget that. So when we want marriage, right? Like I said, guys, I want you guys to really step it up and think limitless and start seeing the version of your SP that is stepping up for you and doing the things that you need them to do. Okay. Stepping up and really living in the present and living in your mind in the end. Okay. And let me straighten something up for you guys. I'm probably going to say this I've said this a million times before. I'm going to say it a million times again, but let me just pause and let you guys know this, right? We're talking about marriage here, but I want you guys to know that whatever you guys are trying to manifest, okay? Because I personally am a coach that believes in manifesting in steps, because sometimes, when people come to me and they're super anxious and they don't really know if they trust this process, or they come back to me in a short time and say, I don't know if I trust this. I'm wavering. I'm anxious. I'm this, that, et cetera, et cetera. Manifesting in steps is most of the time the answer, because sometimes living in the end of we're married and everything is great and blah, 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 sometimes that can be triggering. Sometimes that can be too much for my clients, okay, or our subscribers. And I get that. I understand that. So when I say live in the end, guys, I'm just pausing and letting you guys know this. It's just a little fact on the side, right? When I say that living from the end, okay, living in your mind and living from the end, it doesn't mean that you always have to be going straight to the end of everything that you want to experience with this person. Living in the end is just living in the end of what we're trying to call in and allow in at that particular time. And sometimes that could just be consistent positive communication. That could be consistent positive communication and quality time. Okay. That could be consistent and positive communication, and now we want to move in together. Whatever your end is at the time, that's what you need to be living for and living from in your head, and that is your end at that particular time. And then once you experience that and call that in, then maybe you want to move to the next level, and then that'll be your end. Okay, so I just want to make that very clear. I want to make that so you guys just are clear on that, because I know I might get questions on that I might need to answer. So I'm going to put that out ahead of time. But yeah, guys, so if you're trying to, manifest in marriage, okay, that is what I want you guys to be doing, is really, really, really bringing it back to what is the version of my SP that I want to experience? And then who am I in relation to that person, right? As a person that has a ring on their finger, that has experienced a perfect proposal. Okay. And living from that. Okay. And then our other subscriber that was asking me about getting anxious about affirming. Okay. I've mentioned this before, but I just want to recap. Don't feel like you need to be affirming, 24/7, 365 all the time. It consumes your world, because 9 times out of 10, that is going to bring anxiety, right? If you're affirming and you're having anxiety, it's probably because, right, you're either in a stage of just beginning this, and you're in the stage of, like I said, that middle, Okay. And sometimes we have to work through that. We have to power through that. We have to get very disciplined. And it's about repetition. But if that doesn't go away, right? Sometimes robotically affirming, we have to sit down, and that's fine. Because like I said, if you set everything else down and you just stay in a mental diet and you're affirming, okay, and you're just living from, whatever thoughts come up in your mind, and then if it's unfavorable, you flip it, that is enough for you to manifest. That is a mental diet. You can't stop intending and affirming because you cannot stop thinking. So don't feel like obligated to have this whole routine where you wake up and you robotically affirm, and then you eat dinner or you eat breakfast and then don't feel like you need to do that to manifest, because that is not the case. Not what I did. I was not obsessing over affirming all day and everything, or every day. I literally just paid attention to my thoughts, and I flipped my thoughts in the moment. And I did inner conversation, and I did a little bit of robotically affirming here and there. I would pop in my earbuds, or I'd be walking around and I would have like one affirmation that I would robotically affirm when I was manifesting my SP. Okay. So take that with you. Okay. But you can absolutely, manifest everything that you want, guys, marriage included. You can manifest the ring, right? You can manifest the ring. You can get anything and everything you want from your SP. Don't doubt that. Don't doubt that. Marriage is on the same, I always say, guys, I want you to think of your manifestations on the same playing field, okay, as everything else in your reality. Everything else is on the same playing field. Just like movement, guys, there's no tiny movement. There's no big movement. It's just movement. If it's movement in your favor, then it's movement, period. Period. If it's movement, you see something that you pushed out that you didn't want to push out, okay, it's movement. It's not big. It's not small. It's movement. And it's still, like I said before, it's a nudge in your favor, telling you how powerful you are. Now you just need to flip it. But if it's in your favor, guys, don't downplay it. It's not tiny movement. It's not big movement, huge movement, right? It's movement. It's movement. It's movement, and it's in your favor. Okay? Just take it as it is. Okay? And so with affirmations, okay, for marriage, right? I like just simply going in with specific and literal affirmations, guys. Subconscious loves that. Okay. So if you're saying, I did it, I love saying, I did it. I manifested the perfect proposal. And you can say with SP if you desire that, right? You can say SP and I love being married. Okay. Or you can say SP and I love being engaged, depending on how you're manifesting in steps, right? I love the fact that you're affirming that everyone else pales in comparison to you. Okay. That your SP sees you as their perfect and best match. SP sees me as their wife or their husband. Okay. So take those with you guys, right? And just remember, okay, your marriage proposal, right? If you stay focused on the version of SP that's showing up as your best partner, that is proposing to you, that wants to commit to you, that sees you as their perfect counterpart, that sees you as their wife, their husband. Okay. You will bring this in. Let me share this success story, right, with you guys. This is a wonderful success story. It's crazy. It makes me smile every single time. Okay. Hi, Kariana. I can barely contain my excitement as I write this. I got it. I got the ring. He proposed last night exactly as we spoke about. All those times you reset me, as you like to say, and guided me through my fears and my doubts. All the times you told me to keep going. Sorry, guys, I have to put this in the light. All the times you told me to keep going and trust you as my coach. I owe this all to you. Everything you said was on point. All the homework you gave me was effective. The way you teach LOA is one of a kind. You're the real MVP. She's so cute. As you taught me, discipline, action-based affirmations, and inner conversation is what really pushed this out for me. I can't wait for our next session to let you know how our wedding plans are unfolding. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate you beyond words. Okay, guys. So, she just basically was thanking me and really, really excited for her proposal. Obviously, I mean, that's a huge, huge thing, guys. It's huge, right? And you guys can do it too. I just want you guys to take this and have this be inspiration for you, and know that it's really, like I said, in the beginning of this, when we choose that we want a marriage proposal, choose that we want marriage commitment, and we want a proposal, choosing that and then deciding, okay, this is how, or choosing that and choosing how we want it to unfold, and the deciding that that's the only option, and then sticking with it. Okay. And I've taught you guys the ways that you guys can stick with it. It's going to be different for everybody, guys. Okay. But the one thing I can say is that you have to choose, decide. Okay. And know that this is the only option, and plan for that and nothing else. And don't resist your 3D. Interact with it, respond to it. Like I said, anything that comes up, any emotion that comes up, acknowledge it, observe it, and then release it, let it go, and get back down to mental diet. However you do that. Mental diet. However you do that, guys. Robotically affirming, inner conversations, just a mental diet, period. Walking around and flipping those thoughts. Okay. However you decide to do this, you can do it. You absolutely can do it. I've seen it. I've seen it in many of my clients. I've seen it in myself. Okay. So just know that you guys are so, so powerful. You were born perfect. You're born powerful. Nothing wavering, doubting, fears, anxiety some days, depression some days is not going to stop any of this. It's where you dwell. It's where you go back to. It's where you find the comfy spot. Remember that, guys. Okay. And I am so, so proud of you guys. You guys are on fire, and I love you guys so, so much. And I'm just so, so grateful that I am on this platform and I'm able to reach you guys and do what I do. Take that with you guys, and just know tomorrow's another day. Tomorrow's another day, even an hour from now, a couple hours from now. Reset yourself and then begin again and go on that journey to getting what you want, right? Calling in, allowing these things to come into your life, and knowing that you're entitled to it. Okay. So I love, love, love you guys. I will see you guys on the next video. Take care.